Hey guys, what is going on? LegoMan123 back from another video. And in today's video, I'll be sharing a very special mock with you guys. And why this mock is special is because this was help suggested by a good friend of mine who goes by the name of Max's Lego Stop Motions. Because when I did my 300 subscribers stop motion contest, first place did mean that you got to pick 2 videos of your choice, and Max did win, resulting in him to pick 2 videos of his choice. The first idea he did have was a stop motion, and then the second video idea he had was a decently good sized mock. So I did build the mock up, and then I did send it to Max on Instagram. I did that because I wanted to get the clarification on that was the mock he did want. To build the hype up even more about this mock, I just want to give a quick shout out to Max's Lego Stop Motions, because I must say he does some phenomenal stop motions. They are really enjoyable to watch, and I just love seeing the story come together in each of his videos, the voice acting, just the whole idea of his stop motions are really cool. So if you haven't already, I would highly recommend checking him out. So without further ado, let's take a look at the mock. This is a DC-based mock, and I'm really proud of how this mock did turn out. So this is any sort of scene where the Joker in his sort of human form is falling into the Ace chemicals, and then Batman is trying to save him. So I'm really proud of how this mock did turn out. It's built on a 16x16 plate. They're just a bunch of smaller plates connected at the bottom of each other, as you can see. So I'm really proud of how this mock did turn out, especially with the snot technique for the acid, because at first I was just going to use a bunch of plates, but then I thought that's not going to look as realistic as the snot technique to give it that sort of liquidy feel, if that does make sense. And then I'm also proud of how I did use these sort of cylinder pieces to give it that cylinder feel. And then the minifigs are really cool as well, because this is my custom sort of Joker in his human form. It's just a pair of black pants and then a Lego City torso from a robber. And then I put some skin color hands on him. And then the face is actually from a minifig from the Lego Harry Potter Quidditch set. I can't actually remember his name. I think his name is like Luca something. I'm not 100% sure. And then the hairpiece is actually from Cedric Diggory from the Hungarian Horntail Trials Tournament set. The reason I chose this specific facial expression is because it looks like he's starting to scream out like, "Help, save me." Because, as you can see, like, the bars have broken here and he's suddenly fallen. So I didn't want to give him like a huge sort of a screaming facial expression. I wanted to give it like it was building up to saying, "Help, please save me." And then the Batman minifig is just him from the Lego Dimensions pack with like Gandalf and Wildstyle. How I built it was that I built this small base section so I could fit both of the minifigs, and then to make the railing I used these really cool pieces. I'm not 100% sure on where you can find them, but they make some really cool railing effects. And then I did use a 1x2 plate with the stud in the center, so then I could like turn it around the different sort of railing angles to make it look like it's broken apart. And then I used these really cool pieces here to make it look sort of old and just to give it that sort of Ace Chemical feel. And then under it, it's nothing too special. And then behind the mock, I've just added this crate and then this sort of bag here to make it look like they've gotten a shipment in or something like that. And then to have the minifig falling, I've actually put this 1x3 plate there, because at first I was just going to have him like on these studs like that, but that didn't look as cool as having him like in midair. So I think that's a really cool effect, and it does work relatively well. And from the sort of front at the mock here, you can't actually see it as well as the side, so I think that is really cool. But my favorite part by far would probably be this section here where the acid is in this cylinder tube. I'm really proud of how it did turn out, because as I did say, I was just going to use plates, but then it didn't look as realistic and liquidy as having the snot technique does. So now I'll show you how I did do that, just by taking off these 1x4 tiles and then revealing like that. So it's a pretty simple idea. I've just got a bunch of bricks and plates, and then done it on the side here with the 1x1 bricks with the stud on the side, and then I've just connected it like that, and then I've used these sort of curvy green bricks to make sure it actually does fit in properly, because at first I just used a bunch of bricks and then having it out like that, but then it got really tight and these cylinder pieces didn't actually fit in properly, so then I had to curve it a bit, so then it fitted in really nicely. There's still a problem with like putting the pieces together, so then I'd use these 1x4 tiles and it fitted really nicely. So overall, I'm really proud of how this MOC did turn out. It really does look like a scene from the cartoons or the live action adaptations of Batman trying to grab the Joker in his human form before he falls into the acid and then becomes the Joker. So I'm really proud of how that did turn out, and the amount of detail I have included with like these pieces here, the railing, and then the acid, especially with the snot technique to give it that sort of liquidy and smooth feel. As you can see, there's a couple of gaps at the sides because you can actually see the plates there and then the side there. I couldn't help that, so I just decided to leave it because it doesn't look too bad, because if it was like out to here then I would have probably fixed it, but it's only just this small gap, doesn't worry me too much. So I just once again want to thank Max's Lego Stop Motions for this video idea, because this video wouldn't have happened without your idea for a video of your choice. So as always guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can say so goodbye.